Hey there, Arma here. Welcome back, guys, to another video as continuation for the narcissism series. We're going to continue to dive into manipulation tactics that narcissistic people or abusive people use. So we're going to talk about what is blame shifting. When it comes to blame shifting, it is a manipulation tactic used by narcissists in order to escape taking accountability for their wrongful actions. So this could be also used within gaslighting. So a lot of times gaslighting and blame shifting can go hand in hand depending on the situation. So why do narcissists use blame shifting? Because they rather you be wrong to save their false self-image, right? They have this force field around their self-importance and their image, and they don't want it to be shattered. They don't want it to be intruded or anything like that, right? So they rather shift the blame on you, so you're wrong and they're right, because they got to protect their self-image. Two, narcs taking accountability means they have lost the competition. So a lot of times narcissists see things as only transactional for everyone, and taking accountability to them is like, oh no, this person has got the upper hand on me, so I've lost. Kind of like they're losing a game of ego, a game of ego and power. So when they're forced to take accountability, it also makes them have to reflect and think, do some inner work about what they have potentially said or done wrong, right? They'll say potentially when they actually have done the wrong. You calling them out, saying, hey, you did this to me, or you said this rude thing to me, or you insulted me, you did something bad to me. And that's when they can blame shift, use gaslighting to say, nah, you're seeing it wrong, you're being extra sensitive, it's not a big deal, you're exaggerating, whatever the case, different cases like that. It really depends. But once again, when it comes to narcissism, we have to remember that these manipulation tactics are patterns that happen over and over and over, year after year after year, when you've been exposed to the narcissist's true side. 3, the narc has been injured, causing their mask to drop. This can lead to narcissistic rage. We also call it narcissistic injury, like when maybe you expose something that a coworker has done, or you reported them to HR manager, whatever, and something like that. If your coworker is a narcissist, that can lead to narcissistic rage, where their mask drops. So when we talk about the mask, I'll get into that in another video, but the mask is basically the false image, right? The false self-image. And when you shatter it with reality, when you tell the truth of how you feel, that causes rage, right? So think about like a bee's nest or a hornet's nest, right? If you keep messing around with it, even a bird's nest, if you mess around with it over and over and over, right? So say the nest is like the mask, right? It's a nice honeycomb type of nest or whatever, and you start messing with the bee's nest, that's gonna and you see you're like rattling it with a stick or something, and the stick is like represents you telling the truth towards a narcissist, right? So what happens? That narcissistic rage is those bees getting upset that you're messing with their nest, and they're coming after you, right? They're coming out. Okay, you're messing with our nest, so we're gonna have to attack you. Saying what narcissists, you are trying to tell the truth or say certain things, even though I hurt you. Is basically it's up, and here comes the manipulation tactics, right? An example of this is Chris confronts his dad about using profanity towards him because it hurts his feelings. So Chris' dad then responds, well, if you listen to me more often, then I wouldn't have to. And this is a common thing when it comes to children that have narcissistic parents, adult children that have narcissistic parents. A lot of times a child the child of the parent can feel a certain way when the parent is being abusive, and they tell their parent how they feel, and then the parent either gets annoyed, mad, they don't want to hear it, they devalue the child. I have had experience with that too. It's that saying too, it's like, well, if you listen to me more often than I want to have to, if you didn't keep getting on my nerves, I wouldn't have to say this curse word or use profanity. When it's like, why use profanity? Why do you feel the need to use profanity, towards your child, when there's other ways to kind of go about it, especially if your child is a good child, not a child that acts out or is rebellious or puts their hand on their parent, like a child that is just in their own nature, and they're innocent, and they're just doing their best to live up to their parents' expectations, right? So that's kind of an example right there, right? So how do we combat the blame shifting? Well, you could use the gray rock method, and I'll talk about that in another video in the future. But gray rocking is basically, think about a gray rock, right? Like a gray rock that you see on the road, or the side of the road, or in grass or whatever. It's just there, right? It's just doing nothing. It's not there to hurt you. It's just a gray rock just sitting there, right? So being like a gray rock, but as far as how you react to abuse or toxic or negative behavior, it's a tool to defend yourself against toxic behavior and manipulation, where you're just not adding, you're not feeding into the negativity, right? You're staying neutral, and you're staying civil, and you're trying to be firm and positive as you can. But it's really, the gray rocking is really to protect your energy, so you don't use your energy trying to over explain yourself or getting upset, mad, and crying, because that's what narcissistic people like. They love the chaos and drama. They love to cause a reaction out of the stuff they do. So when you gray rocking, you're like, oh, whatever, or you're like, oh, okay, you give the 1 or 2 word answers. They can't get any energy or supply from you. And so that overall helps protect you. And gray rock can backfire, but once again, we'll get into that in another video. So yeah, guys, this was just a short, simple video about what is blame shifting. And I hope you guys enjoy. If you guys have faced blame shifting, or you suspect someone that might be a narcissist, or just if you live with someone who's toxic and abusive, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Please like and share this video so we can get this video out to more people that may have gone through narcissistic abuse, victims, survivors, and just spread the word, okay? So I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.